You ever pull into your driveway after a long day, step out of your truck, and just breathe in that sweet feeling of peace, thinking, yeah, I finally get a break? Yeah, I thought so too until I found out my truck had somehow become public enemy number one for the self-appointed sheriff of the suburbs. One of those classic Karens. No kidding, I park in my usual spot. Wasn't blocking a soul, wasn't leaking oil, not making a sound, just existing. Not 5 minutes later, my phone goes off. First, a little buzz, then two, then three. Suddenly, I'm having a mild existential crisis because apparently my perfectly clean, freshly waxed truck is now considered abandoned. That's right, abandoned. Right there in broad daylight, gleaming like it just rolled off the lot. If you can picture a silver pickup shining in the sun, looking prouder than a parade marshal, that's the one. And the ringleader behind all this chaos, none other than Karen herself. You know, the type, mid-50s, probably collects clipboards for sport, got a glare sharp enough to cut through tempered glass, always talking about community standards like she personally wrote the Constitution for the cul-de-sac. To Karen, seeing a vehicle anywhere but a showroom is grounds for a federal investigation. She reports it as abandoned because in her mind, personal property is some kind of moral failing, unless it's hers, of course. So here I am sipping my coffee and I get a call from the city. The lady on the line tries to be diplomatic. Sir, we've received a complaint. Your vehicle may be abandoned. Can you verify? And I'm thinking, verify, lady. I'm looking at the truck right now. It's so close I could lean out the window and give it a pep talk. But I keep it together, say, yes, ma'am, that's mine. Not abandoned, not stolen, just existing. I think I'm in the clear, right? Think again. A few hours later, I get another call. This time it's from a supervisor at City Hall. He sounds like he's unraveling a conspiracy. He says, sir, it appears someone's filed 32 complaints this month about a variety of things, including your truck. Pause. 32. Let that number marinate. One person. 32 complaints in a single month. About everything from my truck to apparently the neighbor's cat being too fluffy. I start picturing Karen hunched over her laptop, third cup of microwaved coffee in hand, furiously typing up her latest manifesto, determined that this time the truck pays. Of course I asked to see the list because how could I not? Turns out my truck was accused of being abandoned illegally, parked suspiciously shiny, and my personal favorite threatening the HOA aesthetic. I wish I was making this up. My pickup is now apparently the Darth Vader of the neighborhood. She even said it was causing negative vibes and taking up too much emotional space. Honest to God, I half expected to see truck causing local crops to wilt on that list. But Karen wasn't satisfied with just truck drama. No, she expanded her campaign complaints about my mailbox being half an inch crooked, the neighbor's grass being too green, and one titled, I don't like how the wind blows past my garden. I swear it was like watching a villain montage in a bad sitcom. Her peeking through the blinds, plotting as if she's on a mission from the HOA gods. She even made the city keep a file on her labeled, Get This Repeat Offender Karen Syndrome. I mean, who knew HOA drama could get this theatrical? So I'm explaining over and over. Yes, my truck is fine. No, it doesn't need legal counsel. No, it's not haunted or abandoned. And I'm half laughing, half terrified at how one woman with a clipboard can create this much chaos. If you think this couldn't happen where you live, think again. Your perfectly normal, law-abiding vehicle could become the arch-villain in someone else's personal crusade. There's no warning, no heads up, just that buzz on your phone, that letter in the mail, and suddenly you're starring in a suburban soap opera you never auditioned for. By now, my truck hasn't budged, but the tension's getting thick because if someone can pull 32 complaints out of thin air, what's stopping them from turning things up another notch? Spoiler alert, absolutely nothing. So the very next morning, I walk outside, and wouldn't you know, there's Karen, standing there, clipboard cocked like a weapon, eyes narrowed like she's got me on surveillance, already calling the city, and staring at my license plate as if it personally ruined her day. There's a certain kind of person who thinks the rules are written just for you, and that's Karen. To her, a parked truck isn't just a truck, it's a symbol of disorder. She starts taking pictures, whispering into her phone, like she's narrating a true crime podcast. Yes, it's still here. No, it hasn't moved. This is unacceptable. I almost asked if she wanted my truck's autograph. Then plot twist, the HOA president rolls up looking like he stumbled into an improv comedy skit. He's not there because I called, oh no. Karen apparently sent out an emergency memo titled Truck Threat Level Catastrophic. I wish I was exaggerating. He approaches trying to keep a straight face, sir. There's been a complaint. And I go, yep, that'd be the 33rd one. Should I bring popcorn? Karen jumps in louder now. This truck is a menace. It's illegal. It's abandoned. It's threatening the neighborhood's vibe. Threatening the vibe. Folks, that's a new one for me. And then things just spiral. Karen blocks my truck with 2 of her little garden cones, stands there like she's thwarted a bank robbery. Neighbors start peeking from behind curtains, some laughing, some looking like they just tuned into a reality show. I'm shaking my head, wondering if this is real life or some elaborate prank. Then another call from the city, this time. The tone's more serious, but I can hear the laughter under the surface. Sir, we have a new complaint. She says your truck is causing emotional distress. Emotional distress. For a truck. I try to keep it together, ma'am. With all due respect, it's just a truck. Maybe Karen needs a hobby, but the best is yet to come. Karen escalates to social media posts photos of my truck with captions like, neighborhood safety at risk and residents beware. The comments section turns into its own circus. Some folks mock her, others ask if she's okay. A few wonder if my truck is haunted. Meanwhile, my poor truck's just out there gleaming away, blissfully unaware it's now a minor internet celebrity. Now this is where the universe decides to add its own twist. The city starts actually investigating her complaints, digs through her history. Turns out Karen's got a pattern, fake reports, wild exaggerations, a flair for the dramatic that'd make Netflix jealous. People around here start waving at me saying, good luck. Some neighbors try not to laugh when they see Karen pacing like a security guard on a mission. Me, I document everything. Every cone, every angry glare, every over-the-top email, because honestly, this saga deserves its own time capsule. There's a lesson here, and it's this: never underestimate the chaos one determined Karen and a clipboard can unleash. My truck, innocent as ever, is now the unwitting star of a 3-act suburban soap opera chaos comedy, and not a drop of logic. But then just when I think I've seen it all, Karen goes full DEFCON 1. One morning I find a homemade sign propped against my bumper, big bold letters, unsafe vehicle, move immediately. There's Karen looking like she just scaled Everest, hair-blowing, clipboard in hand, the hero of her own movie. Me, I'm just trying not to laugh, coffee out my nose. She starts photographing every inch of the truck hood, wheels, license plate, like she's gathering evidence for a crime drama. She pulls out a tape measure, muttering numbers about city code violations, measuring the distance between my tire and the curb. 2 inches too far left. That's a violation. Then brace yourself. She actually convinces the city to send an inspector. This poor guy shows up, clipboard in hand, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, and has to listen to Karen explain at length why my truck is destroying the fabric of society. He stares, blinks, and says, "Sir, your truck is fine." Karen's jaw drops like the villain in the last act of a Scooby-Doo episode. Her plan just fell apart on live TV. But she's not done. Next up, she calls a tow company. Yep, she tries to have my truck hauled off. The tow driver shows up, checks my plates, confirms it's all legal, insured, registered, and just laughs. He drives off, and Karen's left standing there like her entire supervillain arc just fizzled out. By now, the whole neighborhood's invested. People peek through blinds, some recording for their group chats, others low-key rooting for the truck. My poor Silverado is now like the Bruce Willis of parked vehicles, indestructible, calm, completely oblivious to its fame. Eventually, the city's had enough. They send Karen a warning about filing false complaints, tell her she could actually be fined if she keeps this up. Fines. For weaponizing the system with too many bogus complaints. That's when I know the universe is finally setting things right. I'm sitting there in my truck sipping coffee, watching Karen walk away, still muttering about next time, clutching her clipboard like a wounded knight. The neighborhood's laughing. I can finally breathe in my truck. Well, it's not just safe, it's basically a suburban legend now. But here's the real lesson. Some folks will go to any length to control what was never theirs to begin with. But if you stand your ground, know your rights, and let a little humor get you through, sometimes the universe handles the rest. And hey, if your truck ever becomes the hero of a neighborhood showdown, make sure to take a picture or two. You never know, it might just inspire someone else to survive their own Karen. So, what do you think was justice served, or does suburban life just breed a new kind of wild? Drop your own wild HOA or Karen story below. Tell me whose side you're on, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button for more real-life comedy and suburban drama. I'll see you in the next story where things only get crazier.